This is Steve Cutt's vision of a world chained down by technology, ultimately consuming us and making us oblivious to the world around. Although this may seem dark and scary at times, I have realised over the past few years that technology has become an essential part, an addiction in our lives. Technology is allowing us to enhance our lives with a surplus of information and network to people all around the world right in the palm of our hands. But all of this comes at a cost.
Now don't get me wrong, I'm not one of those people that believes that phones are going to take over the world. But I have been looking at my phone time, and to be honest with you, it scares me a little bit. So with that in mind, I'm going to lock my phone away until 8 PM each night for 30 days. The first day actually started out quite easy, as mentally I was prepared for the challenge. But over the course of the next few days, I felt myself beginning to struggle. I had a strong urge to use my phone, and actually some scenarios I was left feeling a little strange without having my phone there. I felt in those situations when I had nothing to do, like standing in line or sitting on the train, were actually the hardest, as I would usually fill this time by using my phone. By day 4, I actually started feeling a lot better. Those awkward moments I usually grabbed my phone got easier and easier, and I found less of a need for my phone entirely. I did find that occasionally I would instinctively grab into my pocket to find a phone that wasn't even there. This is one of the things that shocked me the most, so I decided to look more into phone addiction. People aged between 15 and 24 spend an average of 4 hours or more on their phones per day, and ages 25 to 35 spend 3 hours per day on their phones. The younger generation picks up their phones more than 100 times per day, checking it on an average of every 8.5 minutes. Before I made changes to my own habits, I was using my phone for an average of 35 to 40 hours per week. That's the equivalent to a full-time job. At this point, I'd made it past week 1 and I was starting to feel really good about not having my phone on me. Those situations when I usually need my phone, I just felt more and more confident. I ended up being far more focused, spending my time editing and learning. I began to realise that having an extra 35 hours a week free without my phone is a lot of time. In my life, I've always felt rushed and overwhelmed, but over these weeks I felt more in control of my time and I was able to be more present in the moment. While travelling on the train without my phone, I actually found myself having conversations with new people, and I realised that I'd been missing these opportunities when I usually put my headphones in and block everyone out. Weeks 1 and 2 were really great. I began to feel far more present in my life. I was able to go out into nature and read. I spent quality time with my family without any distractions, and I was better focused on the one thing that I was working on. My final weeks in this experiment were actually a bit up and down. On the positive side, I noticed huge improvements in my work and creativity. I ended up feeling far more mentally clear and focused, and my brain was also finding it a lot easier to solve creative problems. Overall, I felt like my ideas were actually becoming better. Again, I wondered how this could be having such a strong effect on me. When we think of relaxing, we think of scrolling through our phone while in bed, or settling down to binge Netflix. But this doesn't actually grant your brain any restorative rest. Your brain is still working hard, taking in all that new information that it's processing, which can leave you feeling unrested, and you actually end up depriving your brain of the rest it needs for thoughts and creativity. But let's get back to weeks 3 and 4, because I did experience some negative sides too during this time. I found that without my phone at all, I became very disconnected online. I would much prefer to be present with my friends in the moment, but I have made a lot of friends on my travels that live all over the world. Although I allowed myself to use my phone for 30 minutes a day after 8 PM for this challenge, usually I'd just gotten back from a trip filming somewhere or had been working on my projects all day, and I was left feeling tired and just ended up going to bed. And this brings me to day 30. I've managed to reach it, it's the final day, it's day 30, and tomorrow I could potentially go back to using my phone exactly the same way,
and that really scares me. I've been thinking about it, and to begin with I was like, oh, it's gonna be so fantastic when I get my phone back, I can use that for all the normal things, but it now really scares me. Seeing how much of an impact it's had on my life, and having no phone for 30 days is one of the best things I've done in a very long time. I've been so happy and positive, being present in the moment and just having conversations with people, and all this extra time, it just feels incredible to be able to go on adventures, spend more time on my projects and things I like to work on, and I just feel more productive as a whole. It's been such a positive thing for me, so I don't want to slip back into the same thing. So I really got to focus on using my phone as a tool. I still want to use it. I don't want to be one of those people that has no phone and writes letters home, living in a little cottage in the middle of nowhere. I really want to keep my phone. I like Instagram, I like YouTube, I like taking videos and photos with my phone, but ultimately I've got to use it as just a tool, and I really recommend the same for other people. What I can learn from this experience is without it, you have so much time, and all the things that you're worried about and you're overwhelmed, and there's all these things that people want to do in their lives. Having that extra time when you come back from work, just having an extra few hours just because you haven't been using your phone, means you can do so much more. So without my phone being such an impact on my life, and I may slip up a few times, but I'm really going to focus on keeping it just for the essentials. I really look forward to seeing what I can achieve with all the extra time I have. I hope you enjoyed this week's video. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, as this is part of a new series of videos that I'm releasing, and the next one will be out very, very soon.